Welcome to the Take a Listing Today podcast, where our hosts Jim Studebaker and Todd Robertson give you strategies to get you out of the office right now so you can take a new listing today. The Take a Listing Today podcast is brought to you by ProspectsPLUS, a leader in marketing solutions for real estate professionals nationwide. And now, here's Jim and Todd.
Wow. That was pretty decent, wasn't it?
It was. And the crowd goes mild.
Oh, wow. Well, welcome to our show today. It's the Take a Listing Today podcast. I'm Jim.
Todd Robertson over here.
And we are certainly excited to be here with you today. Today's topic is expireds. And what real estate professional hasn't had a brush-in with an expired before, right?
Exactly. And it's fun because we know this. He or she with the most systems in place wins the game. So those realtors listening or watching right now, maybe they're not going after expireds, right? Or maybe this week's doesn't resonate with them. Maybe next week it's past client centers of influence. Maybe it's FSBOs. But we know that he or she with the most systems in place will win the game.
Exactly. And you mentioned watching. We are actually not only on this fine podcast, which is available on great outlets like iHeartRadio and Google Play, we are also on the ProspectsPLUS YouTube channel. If you care to actually watch us do this, you can go over to YouTube. And for those of us who are watching, there's the camera. This is the only time we're going to acknowledge you because we have to focus here on what's important, except on what's back here, which is, of course, the beach. We are in Sarasota, Florida, so we thought we would show you the beach, palm trees, etc. right here. It's a
How
wonderful
beautiful
day.
is that?
It's wonderful. But speaking of beaches, don't get distracted because the goal here today with this entire podcast series is for you to be able to take a listing before the end of the day. Listings are the name of the game. A lot of brilliant people have said that before. That's the point of this, is to take a listing today. And we might mention, in case you happen to hear a far-off voice enter our podcast today, that our producer, Lisa Gray, is in the studio with us.
Lisa Gray.
Nice. So she's going to keep us
She
on
normally
track.
only comes on when we're in trouble and we forgot something.
Exactly. So she thought she'd cut out the middleman and just sit in here initially and keep
Right.
us out of trouble. So with that said, let's talk about expireds and how is a real estate professional going to deal with somebody with an expired listing? How can you turn that expired listing into a brand new listing today?
Exactly. So here's what I'm envisioning in terms of a realtor's mindset. So one of you listening out there right now, let's say that you're having a cup of coffee and it's 7, 8, 9 a.m., whatever your office hours are. So the mindset is that the rest of your day is blank. So there's nothing on the agenda. And what are the options at that point if that's the case? I could wait for somebody to walk in. I could wait for a sign call or ad call, or I could go take initiative and stir something up. So today, we're going to give you some strategy on taking an initiative, going to stir something up, and that something would be the expireds.
Exactly. And why are these people expired to begin with? There's normally one good reason.
There's one good reason. So we're going to hit you with the hard truth in these podcasts. And everybody thinks, right? Your seller's going to think, oh, the other agent didn't do this, this, and this. 90% of marketing the house is starting with price. So we know that's the one reason the property expired. And in this podcast, we're going to give you some actual dialogue. Use the dialogue you have, use your dialogue from your broker, but we're going to also give you some dialogue in case you want that as well to say, how do I go out today and stir one of those up and potentially get home by the time the sun goes down and have a signed contract? Because we know that's 100% possible. Is it easy? No. Is it scary? Yes.
Well, it should be easy because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Right.
Right? So you call the expired homeowner, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I had a bad experience. Yes, I still want to sell it.
Right.
How do you convey to the homeowner that they need to lower the price?
Excellent. So one method is to whether you make a phone call or whether you stop in and visit them. So knowing that we know it's price, we don't want to make them feel bad because obviously they want to make the most money in the shortest period of time. So strategy number one is to just get the appointment if they're motivated. So we don't even really bring up price. So we might ask a couple questions. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is Todd Robertson, XYZ Realty. I noticed your home came up on the market as an expired listing. Yes, it did. Oh, we're not going to, well, that's not why I'm calling. Quick question. if you did get an offer on your house, full price offer, do you still want to sell? Great. And where would you want to go? So now if we know that that person, that seller, that listing is motivated, then I think we can ask a series of questions to do one thing, get the appointment.
Exactly. So once you have the appointment, what is the pivotal question? Is it simply, look, I've got to get in front of you because the expired agent is one of what? A couple hundred if it's a busy market.
Exactly.
Who is calling this homeowner? How is the agent listening to our podcast today going to differentiate him or herself to that homeowner?
Sure. So beautiful question. A couple ways. One is this. The agent that expired that listing, that took that listing, put it in the multiple service, and it expired, happened because of what we just talked about, overpriced, okay? Mm-hmm. So we don't want to make that person feel bad, but let's say after we give them this dialogue here in a few minutes and they get the appointment, and now they're there, all they have to do is a normal presentation and really ask the question and share with them, Mr. and Ms. Seller, I'm not here to take a listing today. That's not what I do. I'm here to help you sell this house and make the most money in the shortest period of time. So we have two options today. We could price it up there where you want, or are you prepared to price your house today to sell?
So do you recommend telling the homeowner their options in terms of price over the phone, or do you wait till you are in front of them?
In front of them at the appointment, because that's where we can get the signature.
But what if the homeowner is just dead set on reducing the price, and now you've driven across town to talk to this guy, and now he's out?
Right. So say that again. You're saying the homeowner's dead set on what?
On lowering the price.
Okay. Well, that's perfect. If they're dead set on it, we go take the listing, lower the price, put it on the market, and get it sold. Now, if they're dead set on not lowering the price, then we stay away. They're not motivated. And really, we want the realtors, which they do. They have a fiduciary obligation to tell the truth. Mm-hmm. And the truth is, if that realtor is at a listing appointment, sitting across from the husband and wife potentially, or whoever house that is, the truth is this: there are a bunch of agents who will be calling you and getting in contact with you, just like you said, and they will be willing to take that overpriced dog because guess what? They come from scarcity. Mm-hmm. Okay. They have not been well trained, but a well-trained agent will show up and tell you the truth. Because here's what's bad. Let's say they don't get a good agent this time, and it goes back on the market. 4, 6, 8 months go by. Well, now you've wasted a bunch of time. Now the market's changed, so you've cost yourself a lot of money by trying to.
Exactly, and there are a lot of negatives to putting an overpriced property on the market, and even as a real estate agent, from taking an overpriced listing, because now other agents in your MLS, they're not going to want to show your properties because they know, you've got a reputation for taking these wildly overpriced listings, and the homeowners have it in their head now that the listing, that their house is worth that overpriced amount, and they're impossible to deal with.
Exactly.
So just, I guess, as a side note, don't ever take an overpriced listing, right?
Well, and I heard a great, I was talking to a realtor that does 90 closings a year on average, and I asked that question and to that agent, and I said, how do you deal with that? And they said, well, if you want to price it up here, we can, but in 2 weeks, we're going to have a meeting to reevaluate, because if we price it up here and it stays there, that will be used to sell other people's houses. They'll go show that for contrast, then go show Lisa's house for $25,000 less. She's priced correctly. They're going to write that one. So they're going to use yours to sell other people's house.
That's a good point. Everything else is going to sell that way.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
So in your experience, is expireds a great niche to go after if you want to go out and just get a listing today before you go to bed tonight?
Exactly.
Is an expired the way to go?
No, it's the way to go today, because that's our topic today. And each week we're going to bring you a different topic and subject. And we realize some are going to resonate with them more than others. Mm-hmm. But expireds are definitely a way to go. Don't be a one-dimensional agent. We want you, our objective, right, and if you've been following or listening to any of our stuff, is to help you win, is to help you really, he or she with the most systems or campaigns in place will win the game. Why? 2 or 3 things might not be working. Ooh, this one's pulling great right now. And guess what? If I'm a one-dimensional agent and that one thing isn't working, I'm sunk. So yes, exactly. We want them to either add expireds to that and not be afraid of it. Sure. Is it going to take some courage? Yes. Is it going to take some overcoming some fear? Yes. Is it going to take maybe them going to the broker and say, critique my presentation? But guess what? all those resources are there, and our conversation today will cost the realtor zero, no money, and to potentially have a signed contract before the sun goes down.
I think we're going to have to spend some money on a table here, because every time we touch the table, we get a sound in the mic. Maybe we need to spend some money on a table that we can beat on. Lisa, what do you think about that? Can we appropriate some funds for that?
Maybe oil Todd's chair.
Yes. Maybe we should do that as well. So it's creaking there. Yeah.
Oh, it's excellent.
That's not
Yeah.
your knees, is that, Todd?
Well, no, I did take my fish oil supplements this morning, so
Okay, good.
it shouldn't be that.
Well, we spared no expense on the microphones because it picks up everything, apparently.
Exactly.
So good.
Now, speaking of great questions, let's give those realtors listening right now, let's give them a series of questions, potential questions that they could call over the phone. Let's say you're an expired. Let's do a small little role play for your game. Okay?
Will these also work in person? What if I don't want to call and I want to get in front of them?
Yes, exactly. In person, you could either have them on a sheet of paper, or you could just have 4 or 5 memorized. You don't have to have the whole sheet. In person, stronger because you're there, you're right with them. Second, I like to go knock on the door, and then third is mailing. Mailing is very good, but you might lose it to a more assertive, aggressive agent who's going to go out today to say, you know what? I'm not going to wait for that postcard to hit and then go do this, then go do that. I'm going to go see if I can go take a listing today. Mm-hmm. So the dialogue would go something like this. So I would call you up.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, is this Mr. Studebaker?
Yes. How may I help you?
Oh, thank you. Todd Robertson with XYZ Realty. Just wanted to get in a brief call.
Oh, another real estate agent. I just went through a real estate agent, had my home on the market for 6 months, and here we are 6 months later, it's not sold. What a terrible experience.
That's frustrating. Let me ask you this. And believe me, I've had many clients that have been through that before. Let me ask you this. If we were able to help you have a good experience to help you counteract that bad experience, would you be open to that conversation?
Well, yes, I still need to sell the house.
Okay, so you still need to sell. Let me ask you a question. Why are you guys selling, and where do you need to go to? Just so I know your urgency, so I know how hard we need to work and what campaigns to put in place for you.
Sure. Well, I was transferred out of town, so I'm supposed to leave here in 30 days.
Great. Well, okay, let me ask you 2 or 3 questions. We're making great progress to see if I can even help you. May I?
Okay, go ahead.
Because I don't know why it expired. But let me ask you this. Did your agent put the property in the multiple listing service?
Oh, yes. Yes, it was in there.
Okay, excellent. Let me make a note of that. Mm-hmm. That's excellent. Question, were they able to hold it open, a broker's open, or just an open house to help you get exposure?
Yeah. There was a few days where they had people coming in here and they drug in mud, and so I broke a dish in the kitchen. But
okay, that can be frustrating.
Yeah.
You might want to check the refrigerator, make sure the beer is still in there as well. And, these are things we have to look at. So the point is this. So for those realtors listening right now, I want you to write down your own series of questions. We're going to finish this role play, but watch this. You're going to ask a series of 5 or 6 very easy questions that they know the answer to. You're going to bury 1 or 2 that we know the answer is no, and then we take a pause. Ooh, I think we found the problem. So for example, we're going to continue this line of questioning. Mm-hmm. Did the realtor send over a professional photographer in every room, or do drone photography on your house?
No, not at all.
Oh, they didn't?
I didn't even know that was an option.
Oh, interesting. I think I found the problem. Why don't we do this? And I haven't even seen your house yet, so I don't even know if I could help you. But why don't I stop over today, and I could stop over today at 1:30 this afternoon, or at 4 o'clock, whichever is better for you. We'll spend 15 or 20 minutes. I'll share with you what me and my company do to sell homes. I don't just take listings. I help people sell homes. There are agents who will take listings, overpriced dogs, because it looks good on the board in the office. Okay. So why don't I stop by? I'll share with you what we do to get homes sold, and then you can make a decision. Boom. Worst case scenario, we met a new friend, and we had a great cup of coffee. Sound good?
All right. Well, what you're saying makes a lot of sense, so let's do it.
Excellent.
Yes.
So the realtors listening right now, design your own series of questions and put in there something you do that nobody else does. Maybe it's what your company does that nobody else does, or that nobody else can do. It's what your franchise does. It might be something your broker brought to the table. It might be a uniqueness that you have. Elaborate on that for them, Jim. In other words, I'm the realtor. I'm going to develop questions I'm comfortable with, so elaborate on that just so they get a little different twist.
Right, okay. So now if you're in the house And now you're making your presentation. Do you use a big flashy 3-ring binder or a computer PowerPoint, or what's your recommendation there?
Yeah, my recommendation is bring a laptop in, even if you don't open it. It shows that you're modern, you're up to date, you're into technology. And never tell somebody something you can show them, because as Floyd Wickman, a friend of our company who did the forward to my book, Become a Listing Legend, as Floyd said, he says, bring everything in. He said, never tell somebody something you can show them, because a picture's worth 1,000
words.
Dollars,
even better.
He said $1,000.
Wow. Nice.
So yeah, so stay humble and watch. That presentation should be outstanding. You might have to go to your broker for the next week, 5 days in a row, and say, will you critique my presentation? Will you help me get better? No broker is going to say no. They want you to win. And then your broker is going to say, great, here are the 3 things to work on. You went too fast. Your pauses, your tonality, your voice inflection. Let them answer. So utilize these resources, and think about just our conversation so far today. If a realtor is able to implement this, will cost them 0 money.
And you said something very nice earlier, which is a marketing technique. A homeowner doesn't want somebody to come over and take a listing. They want their house sold. So you're selling them the objective that they want to obtain.
Correct.
A sold house.
Correct.
Not a listing, not a bunch of open houses, they want their house sold.
Correct.
So you're not selling a piece of paper that says, I'm going to tie up your house for 90 days and put in the MLS and hold an open house and put a yard sign, right?
Exactly.
I'm going to sell your house.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Lisa, we are going to solicit some viewer mail.
Yes, actually at the end of every show, we ask our audience to go to our show notes, and you will see an email address there. Head out today. These are actionable items that you've been given today, so head out, make it happen, and then email us. Use our email in the show notes. Let us know how it goes for you. And in future episodes, we're going to go ahead and read some of this email, some of the mail that we get from our realtors live on the show. And it's going to be a wonderful thing to hear your feedback and your experiences.
Great point. And here's what I like to see, and I know this will happen. I don't know when this will happen. Is it today? Is it 3 months from now? Is it 2 years from now? But here's what will make my day great when this happens. Somebody is going to listen to a podcast that's open, that's coachable, that wants to win, that has a hunger. They're going to go out and implement. And in that correspondence, someone's going to write down there, and this is going to make everything worthwhile. They're going to say, I took this dialogue, I watched this video, I went out and stirred things up, and boom. I would love to see a screenshot. I don't know if they could take a screenshot and put it in the comments on Instagram or YouTube, but I'm waiting for that first person, and I know that will happen. It's not easy. It's not a walk in the park, but it is 100% attainable.
Absolutely. How does somebody get a message to us?
Again, if they go in the show notes for the podcast and look in the show notes for our YouTube channel for that particular, this particular episode that they're listening to, they're going to see my email address there. It's lisa.gray@prospectsplus.com. You don't have to write that down now, specifically if you're driving.
Excellent.
Just,
yes, don't do that.
Look in the show notes and it's there for
Safety
you.
third.
Right.
Safety third if you're driving.
Right, exactly. And just email me. We're looking for those emails, and we're excited to talk about you on another episode.
Perfect. And maybe we can even get a listener on the air with us sometime.
Absolutely.
That would be nice.
We can certainly give a call and get somebody on the air with us, and or Skype them in so we can actually see that realtor. That would be wonderful to showcase what you've accomplished.
That's a great point. And let me throw this out based on that, because each week we're going to be having a different topic or subject like you heard earlier. So if you're a realtor out there and maybe your expertise is FSBOs, we'd love to interview you during our week that we're doing FSBOs, to say, boom, in the studio with us, or even if they call in, and we'll be able to share that person's strategy and technique that helped them level up to where someone listening could say, wow, boom, I can go make it happen. So that will be fun, especially if we get people that have expertise in those different subjects along the way.
Excellent. All right. Show number 1 wrapped up.
All right, great job.
That's wonderful. And I hear the closing music starting, so that means that they're starting to get us.
Here we go.
Like how they had the hook. Exactly.
They're clearing the showroom, getting ready for the next show.
All right.
You don't have to leave, but you can't stay here.
Everyone get out there.
Get out there and take a listing today.
Remember to type in the comments that you went out and made it happen, and I look forward to the first person that says, I implement your strategy, and I went out and took a listing today.
We'll
Have an
talk to you
outstanding
next
day.
time. Yes. Good night.